Welcome to Five Lemons Laughing. I'm Amanda. I'm here with Melissa, Drusilla, Penny, and Morgan. We have all the Lemonettes here today.
Woo!
Yay! We have a juicy topic today. Most people think the opposite of receiving is giving, but what if it isn't? What if the opposite of receiving is missing what's already there? Because love is showing up, support is showing up, and life is showing up. The question is, are we receiving it? What if receiving isn't passive at all? What if it's actually our responsibility? Because if we spent more time noticing all the ways love is already present in our lives, we would be completely different people. And what if 10 of us did that? It would be a revolution. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about a receiving revolution and how learning to receive what is already there can change our lives.
Yeah. Yes. And back to Amanda, she created this receiving revolution, and I love it. I've been thinking so much about it. And just thinking, like, what if our humanity right now is a little imbalanced? And what if we've become so focused on giving and doing and pleasing and achieving and fixing and contributing that we've forgotten how to receive? And I'm not talking like receiving things, but receiving life itself, what's already here. Like, if you believe in God, God's glory, like if, miracles, they're all here, but we close ourselves off. And because, if we wake up every morning focused on accomplishment and solving and managing and creating, you turn into life producing. You're producing your play, your story. But if we started every day with a different question, like what wants to be received today? What beauty and what kindness and what love can I receive today? Because it's already there, but what can I pay attention to and allow? That's a very different way of moving through the world. And life stops being a project to manage and becomes an experience that we get to participate in. And I'm not talking about bulldozing through life still. I'm talking about slowing down and receiving the magic that's already around us. This is what I just love. You don't create a sunset, you receive it. You don't create your friend's laughter or the laughter of the five Lemonettes. You receive it. You don't create a warm hug, you receive it. So the receiving revolution may be as simple as shifting from what do I need to get done today to what can I let myself fully experience today? And if enough of us make that shift, I think the world would become a little softer and a little kinder, and we'd all be a lot more connected. And it's simple and it's not simple. We're just not programmed that way, but we can still choose it every single day. So what's happening in your life, Lemonettes, that is offering you all of the receiving that you may not be allowing in?
I know, say the question again.
Crickets.
How about this? What in your life is already being offered that you may not fully be receiving? Are we ending the episode now? Is that it? Okay, thanks for joining me.
I think you and Amanda said it all. It's all said and done and wrapped up nicely in a bow.
Yep.
So thoughts that come to my mind is that I felt that I was very much in a receiving mode while I was on vacation. And that's easy, right? Because the to-do list is not there anymore. We had no routine, nothing scheduled. We didn't schedule any tours. We did it, day by day. And so I would say I felt almost blissful every day.
Oh.
And then, to come back to reality, I typically don't like a lot of to-do lists, but I certainly got back into somewhat of a routine and somewhat, checking things off the list and not so much receiving as you both described, for sure.
And do you think receiving is out there for you in the other times when you're not on vacation?
Definitely. And it's so funny that when both you and Amanda were speaking, I thought, okay, so typically I would wake up and say, what is it that I can do to serve the world? And that's still more doing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm still kind of processing the thought of being in a receiving mode every day. And how is it a way that I can bring the two together, that I am still serving, and which you described it, I think, in essence, that in our willingness to be open to receiving, then we are serving the world because we
Yes.
are elevating the world.
Post it. Post it.
Yeah.
That was awesome, Drusilla.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Our willingness to receive. Mm-hmm.
Is serving the world. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys think about receiving not being the opposite of giving?
Well, in A Course in Miracles, it says giving and receiving are one in truth. So according to A Course in Miracles, you're exactly right. They are not opposites. Yeah. So I guess from that sense, I would agree. And then the premise is that what is the opposite of giving? What is the opposite of receiving then?
Well, we talked about the opposite of receiving being control. You're not, you're pushing
Right.
it away because you're not surrendering to life and that all that's there, right?
Yeah. Forcing. That's right. Busyness, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's almost like distraction to what's around us, to what's present.
Mm-hmm.
I think the core for me is time, receiving the amount of time that I have. And it goes back to if I'm present, if I stay in this moment, then I am receiving time. Time shifts around a little bit as opposed to I spend a lot of time in the future and the past, right? Like just fantasizing about the future, or I'm redoing the past in my mind in some way, or bringing up old patterns and pushing them from the past into the future. And I think the revolution is receiving each moment as it comes and all that is present in it. It's allowing that love to be present in every moment. And that's when I believe that like the receiving revolution would be completely switched around. If we were just to let go of trying to manage the future and dragging the past along with us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It makes me think. I'm reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle again. And he talks a lot about being present. And he also talks a lot about like using times when we're waiting in line as opportunities to be present. So what if instead of being so focused on like, this is making me late for the next thing I have to do. This is so frustrating. We take it as a gift. We receive the gift of that extra time that you were just talking about to go within and to be present and to look for the gifts in like, because gifts, as you mentioned in the intro, are all around us all the time, ready to be received, ready to be noticed, ready to be appreciated. And when we're in resistance to the present moment and in resistance to what is, then we block all of that out.
Yeah.
Guilty. Personally, I am guilty.
Me too.
That shifted something for me, Morgan, calling it a gift. Like there was like light bulbs going off. Like, I can understand gifts. I can understand it being like something for me. And that, I mean, our receiving series, we've ended up saying for very common reasons we all hold, we are not good at receiving gifts for the most part, most of us, or at least we're raised that way and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's those gifts that are already all around us that is always happening that I am trying to be more aware of and allow, and being willing to allow gifts for myself. It sounds selfish, but I think that's the revolutionary part.
Mm-hmm.
And challenging.
And challenging and going against our freaking DNA, but that's the revolution part.
Mm-hmm.
Penny, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I'm just processing this whole conversation, and I'm thinking about, like, I mean, you can see my background. We've created this beautiful environment that we live in, and I just walk past it so often. It's just so sad that I do that, and I'm so busy doing other things that, So lately, though, I've been like, I sit out in those chairs and I do my prayer and meditation. And what I'm really starting to realize is that I want more of it. I want more of the stillness. I want more of just being present with what's there in the moment, and just receive all the birds singing and receive the sun coming up and warming me. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And yet I walk past it after, I do my morning, boom, 15, 20 minutes or half hour, and then on to the next. It's just so interesting. Yeah.
And so what if you didn't do that? I'm not trying to be your counselor, but I am interested.
You can,
like, what if you did stop and just stay receiving all that? I mean, obviously not forever and ever, but like just for now.
Well, the good news is that I'm doing it at least every morning for a certain amount of time.
I'm celebrating the 15 minutes that you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And every opportunity I get, I set up this table outside and I sit here so that I am present in nature. I'm not present in, well, I hear it's, I guess it becomes the ambient noise behind me, nature, and what's going on outside, which also works for me. And when I can pause and just really take it in, that's a good thing. It's a process. I think I've said it many times that this whole life thing is a process for me.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Penny, when you were talking about that, like I've noticed within the last couple of months, like, I talk about like thinking about the future instead of what I'm doing. Like, I don't know where this came from, but I think that I need to be super efficient. Like, okay, how can I do this faster, better? Like literally everything that I do, like something as simple as, I drive an old truck. So we have a trickle charger hooked up to it. Like, okay, how can I do this faster so I can get in my truck and go where I need to go faster? And I realized I was doing that. I'm like, okay, so I can, put this under my arm and I can roll up the extension cord. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Like, it's just so interesting. Something so simple as slowing down just a little bit. Like, it doesn't matter if I take 1 extra minute. It's a game that I have been playing with myself when I find myself trying to think about how to do it better and faster. I just stop. I'm like, let me just take a breath here. Let me just do one thing at a time and enjoy whatever it is I'm doing. Right. Because then I get in my old truck and fire it up and hear my loud, truck and my doors that weigh a ton, my crank down window, right? Like the whole deal. No radio to turn on.
Yeah. It's like we make up little stories about how we can only be present in certain environments or in certain situations
or
like
certain times of the day.
Yeah, like yes, exactly. Like you're looking forward to getting in that pickup truck, which is like your happy place and your, whatever the case may be. And then you're not receiving the gifts of the moment when you're gathering up the extension cord and putting the things away and grabbing what you need. Like there's gifts and even those seemingly mundane moments that we just pass right over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find myself listening to, when I listen to I listen to Marianne Williamson read the lessons every morning. And at one point I was putting it on 2 times the speed because like some of them are 11 or 12 minutes long. And I'm like going, oh my God, here I am on a spiritual journey, speeding it up because I don't have time.
Yeah. So
that is hilarious.
Perfect example.
That's so funny.
And sometimes, okay, I still do it at 1.2, but yeah, I had to go, wow, what am I doing? Why am I trying to rush this? Get up a little earlier, Penny. Get to bed a little earlier. There's lots of ways that I can slow down if I allow myself to.
That might be a key. Slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it is.
Yeah.
I've noticed that as I slow down my whatever, like don't try to be faster, be more efficient. Like there is more joy in every moment.
Yeah.
Because then I recognize that my mind is trying to take me out of the moment. And if I could just be present, then that's where the joy is. And I think that's part of the revolution is if we enjoy the moments, then we're emanating joy. We are pushing that out into the universe. And I believe that we send out vibrations, and then those vibrations attract the same to us.
Yeah. That's how you set up the gifts that you'd like to receive. In a way.
Yeah, Melissa talked about in the intro, receiving the sunset, receiving, Penny said, like the bird songs, right? All of that brings us to presence. And for me, it like stimulates my heart, like seeing something beautiful, like the sunset, it opens up the heart for me. It opens up love. And the bird songs, really does that too. Penny does this meditation where during the meditation, she asks what's the furthest sound you hear? What's the closest sound? It takes you through things. And I have been doing that without actually closing my eyes and sitting. Like if I hear a bird, I'm like, ooh, how many different birds can I hear? It really brings me to the present moment. Yeah. So Penny, I think about you often.
It just warms my heart, Amanda.
Are you going to receive that gift, Penny?
I am. It warms my heart.
Yay.
Yeah. That's positive intelligence, the PQ program that I coach. It's all about getting yourself into the present moment and into your body, because a lot of times we're, like you were saying, Amanda, we're flitting off in the future, or we're, ruminating about the past and what we could have done differently. And so if you can just get present to what's going on right here, right now, which is what the PQ program helps with, mental fitness, then you can be more able to handle whatever comes your way. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's very congruous with what Eckhart Tolle was saying about noticing the inner body at all times. He says to always feel what's happening in your inner body, and that it is a practice that like radically and rapidly transforms your life. And he also talks about how, like, how you can have like several different things happening at once, like you're participating in a conversation and then also maybe kind of thinking about something else on the side. And then maybe there's music in the background that is in your ear. And So we have the capability to always be conscious of our inner body, even while we're doing other things. And if we can hone that practice of consciously connecting to what's happening in our inner body, then it like expands us like so rapidly. It increases our vibration. He says that, I have a quote here. He says, the more consciousness you direct into the inner body, the higher its vibrational frequency becomes, going back to what Amanda said. And at this higher energy level, negativity cannot affect you anymore. And you tend to attract new circumstances that reflect this higher frequency. So that's exactly what Amanda was saying. So
yeah, we just took a Tai Chi
second.
class last night. And
Penny,
that's
I definitely want to hear this. I definitely do. But Morgan, before you move on, could you explain what do you mean by tapping into the inner body?
he just says if you focus on the sensations in the body, then you can feel that prana that Penny often talks about. And sometimes you can't feel it strongly at first. It's something that you have to cultivate. A lot of times the easiest place to feel it is in the palm of your hands. But with practice, you feel that energy and you just get in a practice of feeling the energy within your body. That's really all there is to it. Does that clarify?
Yeah, thank you. So we're tapping into feeling your inner body is feeling the energy of what's going on inside you. Is that what you're saying? Or is Eckhart Tolle saying your understanding of it?
That's what my understanding of it is.
Okay. All right. Lovely. And so Penny, I would love to hear your Tai Chi story. Sorry for the interruption.
well, I had to move because the sun was just too bright. Was that?
Yeah.
My future's so bright, I got to wear shades, right?
Yeah.
No, what I was just going to build on what you were saying, Morgan. Last night we went to a Tai Chi class for the first time. I've done some Qigong and I've done yoga, obviously, and asana. And he talked a lot about feeling your body and building the energy in your body. And that just helps everything, just really building it and feeling it. And yeah, so what you were saying about what Eckhart Tolle is saying is, yeah, it's the right on. We just need to really focus on what's going on inside. Yeah, that inner body.
So
That's
Penny,
all I
would
was
you
gonna say.
describe it? Could you describe it as receiving what's already there? So you already
Yeah.
have the energy that's going on inside your body.
Yeah, and it's like building it and harnessing. It is harnessing it somewhat, but yeah, I mean, it's just simple movements, very conscious movements. And I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to get good at it.
Yeah. It's more challenging than you think it's going to be.
And it's slowing down, really slowing down.
Yes.
It's really, I think slowing down is the key here for all of this receiving.
Mm-hmm. What I just thought about is like the rice experiment and like the one that was neglected, spoiled faster. And it's like, if we're not giving our body and our inner being love and attention, then it's going to spoil faster. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we get more sickness, more disease, more. Yeah.
And it flourishes if we put that loving intention and attention there, you know? Mm-hmm. Just like, there's a fiddle leaf fig in my mother-in-law's house, and I ignored it for the first year that we lived here. And I finally was like, that's a real life fiddle leaf fig. And it looks pretty sad. And I'm just going to start acknowledging it every day. And it's doing a little better. Good.
So I'm going to flip this conversation on its head a little bit, right? Because we started talking about giving our body attention, giving, doing. So we switched from receiving to doing again, which is that's just how we're programmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Morgan, what if this fiddle leaf fig that you're talking about has like love and energy in it? I'm just doing an experiment, right? So instead of like giving to this, like the act of giving, that you were to walk by it and receive it, like receive what's already in it.
Right.
Cool.
Well, and plants obviously give us, clean air and breathable air. They're always giving to us. And we frequently receive that, but without conscious awareness, without gratitude, without acknowledgement, and without fully receiving it. It's like the Having book that Amanda and I read. Did you read it too, Melissa?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like the Having, God's gifts are always being funneled towards us and being given to us. But whether we choose to accept them or receive them is totally up to us. Anyway, I don't know. I went on a side tangent. I don't know, because with plants, we are receiving it, whether we want to or not. It's automatic.
Yeah.
So there's space for awareness and gratitude in this conversation too, I think.
Mm-hmm. Can you see it as
for
a gift?
What we are receiving? Yeah.
Can you see it as a gift?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. And pumping that life, that attention into the body and the life force energy, but also back to Amanda's point, with gratitude for everything that it gives us and everything that we are always receiving from it. Thank you, heart, for pumping my blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, lungs, for breathing air in and out of my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like miracle spotting.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
Yeah. Just spotting the miracle all over. There's a thing, a Jungian therapist who calls very much what you're saying. She calls it the river under the river. Mm-hmm. So it's the constant, always fed, perfect flowing, silent embodiment under the turmoil of the top river. And you get to choose which river you focus on and you engage with and you accept as yours. Which I love. I love stuff like that.
So you're basically saying you get to tap into the river under the river of your choice.
Yeah. It's like your inner body, let's say. I found it the same to be what Morgan was talking about the inner body, or Eckhart Tolle was talking about. Two in the same, Morgan and Eckhart, and all of their teachings. And yeah, so the inner body and the gifts that are already there implanted quietly and silently. Mm-hmm. And so we get to choose to focus on that, or we get to choose to focus on the other stuff, the time, lack of time, and I don't look so good, and why is it raining and not sunny out, and on and on and on.
Yeah. And we can still be doers and receiving, because I'm just thinking about my personality. I do it's good, ideal for me to expend my energy every day, whether that's doing something creative in front of the computer or doing something active, physical, whatever. But like I mentioned yesterday in our Abundance and Gratitude Club, that I've gotten into yard work and gardening recently. And after being in front of the computer all day long, going out there in the evening and getting my hands dirty and doing physical stuff is so grounding and healing and nourishing to me. But I am still doing something and I am still giving, but I am aware of how much I'm receiving when I do that. Yeah. I'm less aware of it when I'm cleaning the dishes or folding the laundry, but it's just a shift. All it is a matter of shifting perception, but it's easier for me to be aware of what I'm receiving, the gifts that are in it when I'm gardening for some reason, doing yard work.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So if we go back to what you said earlier, Morgan, based on Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now, the goal is to get the same, to receive the same from the dishwashing as from the yard work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as from waiting in line or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moment to moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're braced against life all the time, you don't have the awareness of being in a line and meeting the person next to you and having a beautiful chat or something because you're bracing. It is all in your awareness and your perception and your trust and your faith and your willingness, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think because a lot of us because we are all still having an experience of ego, we are looking for the concrete. We're looking for the specific. And a lot of the gifts are more in an abstraction. And so it's something we have to cultivate almost to become more aware and more receptive to, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is the right time in this episode, but so if someone is just tuning in for the first time, how do we explain to them to begin this process? Mm-hmm. What are some things that we would instruct someone to do or how to be? Mm-hmm. And in order to be more receiving throughout their daily lives?
I would say one of the first things that someone can do is if someone gives you a compliment, just say thank you, right? Something basic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just receive a compliment. It's amazing if we, if someone says, oh, you look pretty today, like to go into, well, this old t-shirt or, just to deflect instead of receive. I think that's one of the first place steps that you can do and is consciously receiving, to practice receiving.
I agree with that one. And I also think you could take it even a step further. And if someone offers to buy you lunch or buy you dinner, let them. Don't argue over it. And that one is so uncomfortable for so many people. And I have been practicing it just because it's a practice of receiving. And I'll be honest, sometimes I think people are surprised that I'm not pushing back. But it's like, that's their ego story to work out. Yeah. Don't offer if it's not coming from sincerity. And I won't either. And I won't do it with an expectation of a transactional, like I'll get it this time, you get it next time. Like if I'm offering, I'm sincerely offering, and I'm going to assume that the same is true for you. If it's not, that's your business. But I'm not going to protest if you offer to treat me to a nice dinner. That's a tough one because that is not the way that most of us have been conditioned to respond when somebody offers to pick up the check.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for me, it would be just slowing down and listening to the sound that's the furthest away from you, and listen to the sound that's the closest to you. Listen to your own breathing. Feel your fingers, the ridges on your fingers as you rub them together. Wiggle your toes. Get yourself present in the moment. Just do it for 2 minutes, and then you can move on with your day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also gratitude is kind of an obvious one, but I also like the art of noticing. So just when I take the dogs for a walk, I'm actively, if they're not being a total handful and themselves taking all of my attention, which is fine. But if I have the freedom to, then I like to just really look for objects of beauty or objects of interest, curiosities, like anything interesting to focus my attention on, rather than just walking by in a blur, talking on the phone, listening to a podcast, whatever it may be. The art of just noticing.
And dogs are really great because they're so curious. They want to sniff and smell everything. So
and I
just watch what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe I should go stick my nose where they stick their nose. Just kidding.
No, I don't know.
It depends.
Just kidding.
What about you, Drusilla? Yeah.
Well, I asked you all because I thought you could come up with them, and you did. So hard for me sometimes because it feels like such a long time that I've been practicing some of this stuff. It's hard for me to simplify it, but awareness, and it's all of what you've all been talking about. But for me, it's just being aware of where your thoughts are going. It's the present, the now. And it does, for me, it's that and the body at the same time, because when I can be aware, then I do pay attention to what's going on inside my body. How's my body feeling? What is my body feeling? And intentionally feeling every cell in my body, or at least that's what I think I'm doing, or that's where I set my intention. And, attempting to walk in awareness, pretty constantly is how I choose to set the intention to go about my day.
I love that. And that reminded me that one thing that Eckhart Tolle talks about is, as we cultivate this ability to focus on the inner self and the body, that is what helps us move out of the constant mental activity, which is an ego domain. Like we think that, the intellect and like deep thoughts and deep mental processing is like some lofty ideal. And it's actually just a distraction from self with a capital S. So that practice of inner awareness is what can help kind of soften the mental chatter.
I'm so glad you said that, Morgan. I feel like that there must be some, as we have been designed or systematically programmed to be, some type of pattern that we follow, that we become intellectually curious about things before we shift to awareness. Because I think if we think about how we all came together, it was that we had freedom, right, to move into a different way of being. Like we all wouldn't be here if we were still struggling to find food to eat every day, right? I don't think we would have come together in this setting. And so it's almost like, I'll tell you what brought this to mind, and maybe it'll make more sense. I see that my husband is now thinking about things in a way that I thought before I got on this spiritual journey. It's like this intellectual, wanting to take in all of this knowledge intellectually. And I think we all probably went through that ourselves. And then we realized that wasn't it. Like, no, having all the knowledge is not it. It's like there's something beyond that, And I think that's what it sounds like you were saying, Morgan. Like, no, it's not the intellect. It's not the thinking that's going to get us to peace. And that's going to get us to the place that we know is comforting. That's love. That's home. And it is moving from that to awareness of your whole presence. And that, to me, that is the body and being present in the body. Is that close to what you were describing, Morgan?
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah. Wow. Deep topic that could go on and on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So as we wrap up our session today, unless there's something else that somebody else would like to offer up, Melissa, you got any final thoughts?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. Well, I have a few Post-its.
Yay.
So my willingness to receive is serving the world. Yeah. So as we receive, we serve the world and receive each moment as it comes and love that moment, that moment. Just love the moment as it is. Yeah. And one of the things that I'm working on this year is the slow down.
Yeah. Yay.
Slow down.
Slow down. And then everybody actually mentioned this, really start feeling what's happening in your inner body. Just really feel it, because it's that awareness that will help us to live in the present moment, right? And then I love that. Tap into the river, under the river. And that's the gifts are there. Yeah, that's where the gifts lie. So that's really beautiful. So, yeah. So this isn't an invitation about doing more. I just think that's what the resounding message is today. It's more about noticing more and just being aware of all the gifts that are just around us that we can receive at any given moment of any given day, to notice the love that's already here, to support what's already here, the beauty, the kindness, the laughter, the moments of grace that are already present in our lives. There's so much, like I said earlier, that I just walked past. So just stop and notice. It's an active choice to pay attention. It really is. And we have to slow down to make that happen, right? So as we continue to practicing acceptance and love and surrender this year, let's remember that some of life's greatest gifts aren't created through effort. They're received through presence. And so, yeah, so just being present and aware of what's going on in our lives is the key. And we gave you some tips for that. So, yeah, it's just a practice. Life is just a practice. We go out, make a plan. I know that this sounds like doing, but we go out, make a plan to be more aware. And then we see how it goes, and we come in and self-reflect and determine what we want to do differently next time. It's a beautiful process, and it just unfolds every day. So, another thing I wanted to share too is that I have some friends that have recently started listening to our podcast. Maybe all of you have some friends too, but I want to have a shout out to Bill and Michael and Hazel and Janet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll say hi to Teresa. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. Yeah. So, yeah, they are interested in what I'm doing. And so I said, well, you got to go listen to our podcast because it's a ton of fun.
That's awesome, Penny. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes. And remember, your transformation is our greatest joy.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.